So life doesn't have to feel frantic. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be like crazy and exhausting and all that. And we don't need to overhaul everything in our life in order to feel better. So instead of chasing peace, what if we just created it in our life, one small cozy step at a time? So that's what this episode of Cozy Notes is all about. And if you're new here, I'm Suan. This is Cozy Notes, a safe little space for us to talk about slow living, mindful parenting, and I'm so glad you're here, so let's dive in. Okay, my dog keeps busting in to this room, so yeah, that's just the way things are. Okay, so today we're talking about the 6 weekly themes of Anchor In. So if you haven't been following me on Instagram or YouTube or what have you, you'll know that I have a new program that's available, that's coming, that's starting next week. Well, technically it started this week because this week is like the pre-work week. So it's like a bonus week. You pay for 6 weeks of support and you're actually getting 8 weeks. But Anchor In is like these cozy little voice notes sent directly to you through Telegram, the Telegram app. And each week is a different theme. So obviously this week is like the pre-work week. And then we have 6 weeks of the themed content. And then finally a bonus week at the end. So if you haven't joined, I'll leave a link down below. Make sure you join. It's totally affordable, totally easy to do. No Zoom calls, no chats that you need to keep up to date on. Nothing like that. Just cozy little notes from me. And whether you join us or not, these themes that we're going to be talking about today are totally going to be supportive for you. So week 1 is all about creating space. And here's my dog going again. Yeah, I record these podcast episodes in between all the moments. Pretty much anything that I do in my business is in between all the moments because I homeschool my kids, right? It's summertime as well. My husband is working from home. So yeah, a lot of in between moments where I find pockets of time to do things, but not all my pockets of time are spent on my business. I try to be very intentional about that. And so week one of Anchor In is all about creating space. And creating space is all about letting go of what's taking up too much room, both like physically and mentally and emotionally. And yeah, it's all about that. And we just do it like one cozy step at a time. I'm not asking you to overhaul your life and just get rid of everything, just going on a mad Marie Kondo, is that her name? Marie Kondoing like everything in our lives. Like that's a little extreme. We don't want to do extreme here, but also we don't want to, the pendulum swing. Like I feel like when it comes to hustle culture and productivity culture, like the pendulum swung in one direction and we feel the need to like swing in the opposite direction, but that's not always sustainable either. And so we need to find somewhere in the middle, right? Where everything is just kind of equalized. So creating space. We're going to ask ourselves, what's cluttering my space, my mind, or my heart? And it's all about clearing out the noise so you can hear yourself again. Obviously, decluttering, that's one thing, and that's something that I'm constantly doing in our home because it's a house of 5 people. It's a small home. We have a dog, a cat, 9 chickens. It's like there's a lot going on here. We homeschool, like I said before. So we're always home. There's never a time in our house except maybe 10 minutes before someone comes to visit that we know that's coming to visit, where our house is like super clean. Other than that, our house is pretty much cluttered and just stuff is just everywhere. And we try to keep on top of it, but it's easy to not be on top of it, and that's okay, I think. But yeah, it's about decluttering, getting rid of the excess, the things that we don't need in our lives, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. So decluttering, setting boundaries, canceling what no longer fits. Counseling, if you need counseling, that's cool too. Canceling what no longer fits into your life. Letting go of obligations and stuff, and saying no, learning to say no. It's like today, I was supposed to go hiking with my friend. We didn't really schedule a time. I just told her I was available anytime after 9, but she's working from home. And so she's unable to get done with work until like 3 or 4. And I'm recording a podcast, so I have work to do as well. I don't have to report to a boss, but I am my own boss, and I know I need to get this stuff done, and it's easy for me to put things off, but this is like something that I value. This is a priority, and so I'm doing this now. So our hike that we wanted to do is going to end up being a walk around the marina while I take my oldest son to his jiu-jitsu class. So we kind of had to alter things, but you know, I could have crammed in the hike before my son's class, because you know she gets off work 2 hours before his class starts. We could have crammed it in, but that would have stressed me the fuck out, to be honest. The hike wouldn't have been pleasurable because we would have had to like hurry up because I need to be somewhere at a certain time. And then I have to drive through all the traffic from one town to the next. And it's during like rush hour. And that's just like, yeah, it would be too much. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just meet at the marina after I drop off my son. That's all about creating space. I was able to create space in my life where I didn't have to feel stressed out. I could have made the choice to be stressed, but I chose not to be stressed. That's just something we need to think about when we're creating space, is boundaries, decluttering, and canceling what no longer fits. So the next theme that we'll cover in Anchor In is about reclaiming our time. It's about where are you putting your focus, basically, when we're talking about time, and calling back your time from what drains you. And so I know this little beautiful device here can easily take up most of my time. And that's something I don't want to do. But having an online business where I need to post on social media, I need to be in contact with my clients when I'm coaching them through Voxer. Yeah, I need to like know my calendar and what's next and what's appointments or what meetings I have, etc. It's easy to get sucked into this, especially like with my brain. And when I log on to Instagram, even though I'm purposely on there, I'm like, I remind myself, okay, you're on here to do this. I'm trying to be intentional. But then, you know, I'm like a dog seeing a squirrel and I'm like, oh, and I get sucked in to some reel, and the next thing you know, they just keep going. It's like junk food, right? Reels and shorts and TikToks and all that stuff. It's like junk food. It's not satisfying, but it's just, I can't stop myself from consuming it. And I have to be very like, have to catch myself, because it's easy to get stuck in it and to be not intentional with my time. And then the next thing I know, it's like an hour or two later and it's like, what did I just do? How did that happen? And so when it comes to reclaiming your time, it's about noticing. It's noticing like, hey, this is happening, and then stepping away, you know? And so where is your time leaking out? Is it social media like me? Is it overcommitting? Because I know a lot of my clients, they have a tendency, I mean, I have a tendency too as well, to overcommit, to think that we're able, because at the time when we're committing to something, we have the capacity at that time to do it, but we're not looking at our future self and thinking, is our future self going to have the capacity to do whatever it is that we've committed to? Usually not. And distractions, like what distractions are there out there? If you're like me and you're just easily distracted, you have to do the things to help you not be so distracted. You know, like maybe you need to put your phone in another room. Maybe you need to set a timer so you can focus on one task to do, so you can actually get it done and follow through and finish it, rather than like hopping around everywhere and not finishing anything. So reclaiming your time. And you don't need to manage your time perfectly. You know, I'm not talking about scheduling out your day and block scheduling and doing all these things. You just need to name what matters and do the thing that matters. Begin noticing where your time goes. So oftentimes with my clients, I have them, or I suggest, I don't make them do anything. I suggest that they kind of, log their time, like what they do and how long it takes and how long they spend doing certain things. And oftentimes it's always the phone, the device that steals their time. So begin noticing where time goes versus where you want it to go. So where do you want your time to go? So instead of spending 2 hours on social media, what would you rather do with those 2 hours? What would you rather do? I come on these podcasts not caring how I look. Totally need a shower. Like I said, I had planned on hiking this morning, so it's kind of in my workout clothes right now, and I don't have to be, but I'm staying in them and I'll shower later. Next is to align with what matters. So with this theme, we are tuning into our values, our priorities, what we find important, and realigning our energy according to those. Because oftentimes we have these things that we deem is important, but we're not spending the time and energy on those things. We're doing other things, usually for other people, right? And so what do you care about really? What are you unintentionally prioritizing? And we want to shift from being on autopilot, because it's very easy to be on autopilot and do the things that you're supposed to do, especially when you're doing things for other people, and not living intentionally, not being purposeful with what you're doing. Because I think being on autopilot kind of numbs us in some ways. We don't have to really be focused and be noticing the things. It also helps us avoid the things that are happening that we should be like looking at and not so much fixing, but just acknowledging that something is happening. Yeah, so that week is all about small questions with big clarity. It's all about getting clear on what you value, and are you actually doing the freaking things that you find important? Because like I said, oftentimes we're not. And it's because we're not being intentional. We're living on autopilot. The next theme is all about simplifying something. Not everything, just something in your life. We just start with one small thing and it kind of snowballs from there. When we do one small thing and find success in it, then we're like, oh, maybe we can do another small thing. It's so easy for us to just want to go big, want to do it all. It's like very black and white thinking, I think. And we need to scale things down. We need to scale things down. We need to celebrate the small wins. And in simplifying something, we're choosing one area of our lives to make lighter and easier. And I do this often, especially with creating content and stuff. In the past, I would overthink it, make things so much more complicated than they need to be. Watch all the videos and read all the blogs and everything that they recommend you use this camera, you do this setup, you do this. It got so complicated that I didn't even want to film or record or do anything. So I'm like, how can I make this easier? I want to do this. I want to have this podcast. I want to have this YouTube channel. I want to have this coaching business, but how can I make it easy where I find it enjoyable and I love doing it? And that's to simplify. It's to simplify. Simplify the gear that I use, simplify the process, not caring about the way I look when I'm recording these podcasts. Because those of you that are listening, you don't see that I'm just in a t-shirt with a messy bun and leggings and stuff. But those of you watching on YouTube, you see me in my glory here. So simplifying. You don't have to simplify everything, just one little corner of your life. And you pick a system, you pick a task or expectation that feels heavy, and you make it softer and easier. And so, like I said, with the YouTube thing, make it easy. Oh, another one is working out. I know the benefits of lifting weights, especially for midlife women. And I got into a habit of doing it. I was doing 3 20-minute, beginner lifting sessions, online. And I got into a really good habit. I did it for 6 months. And then I said, oh, I'm going to up my game and I'm going to do 2 40-minute sessions, and I'm going to lift heavier weights too. Guess what? I never did them. I did one class and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. And I stopped. I pretty much stopped for 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, you know what? This is dumb. Before I was working out, now I'm not working out. And Even though it's not what you're supposed to do when it comes to like lifting weights, at least I was doing it, even if it was just like 20, 40, 60 minutes a week, basically. 20 minutes a day for 3 days. Even though they were short little bursts, at least I was doing it. That was more than not doing it. And so then I went back. I went back to doing the short 20-minute workouts. I also added something that I really loved, which is Pilates. Before kids, I used to do Pilates all the time, both mat Pilates and reformer Pilates. And last year we had like a studio open up that's nearby that literally I can roll out of bed and be there in 5 minutes. Like, how awesome is that? So I joined it. And so now I do Pilates there like 2 to 3 times a week. And so I'm doing things, I'm working out, I'm challenging my muscles, and I'm doing it in a way that's easy for me and enjoyable. And so I'm doing it compared to before when I was, decided that I needed to work out harder. I didn't do it. So yeah, it's all about simplifying something. It's all about picking a system or a task or an expectation that feels heavy and making it easier. And it's all about ease and not about perfection. Not about perfection. And yeah, what I'm doing is probably not going to make me into like a super fit 50-year-old. And that's okay. I just want to feel strong and healthy so that I can be there for my kids in the long run. So the next theme is savor the moment. Savor the moment. Be present for the everyday things that happen in life and actually enjoying, the everyday things. I think it's easy to romanticize like these, big vacations or big events in our lives, but really those are far and few between. What matters are the everyday, the little things that happen every day. And if we're not enjoying our everyday, then we're going to be fantasizing about our next vacation, our next party, our next whatever it is that gives you some joy. And so instead of fantasizing about what we could have or what could happen, let's focus our energies on the right now. And how can we make that joyful and beautiful and romantic? And that's by being intentional and noticing and appreciating, which I know is hard. I know it's hard because some of us have a lot of challenges in our lives, and our brains, especially our subconscious or our lizard brain or downstairs brain or prehistoric brain, whatever you want to call it, it's there to help you survive. So it's going to notice the bad. That's the thing that's going to notice the bad and try to protect you from that. And so what we need to do with our upstairs brain is to notice the good, and retrain our brain to see that instead of always the negative, always the bad. So one way of doing that is to slow down and notice and see the good that's around you. And I know that's hard. Because like I said, our brains are wired to see the bad, the negative in order to protect us. But we need to slow down and we need to see the good and we need to acknowledge it. We need to say it out loud, or we need to write it down, or we need to do something where we see the good. We also need to reconnect with joy in the ordinary things, like savoring our hot cup of tea, cozying up with our favorite blanket while we read a book or watch a TV show, going outside barefoot and feeling the grass on our feet and the sun shining on our faces, just sitting out on your porch and listening to the birds singing, just the little things just to appreciate. Or maybe if you have kids, it's like their little giggles and the things that delight them. Or maybe you're watching them do jujitsu and you're seeing how much they have accomplished since they first started. So savoring the moment is all about presence over performance. And, circling back to jujitsu, just a little story here. I mean, I've noticed this, even before I had kids, I've noticed this, when I went back when I was a teacher, where, when kids are practicing and they have their coaches there coaching them, I've often seen parents step in trying to correct their kids, which totally takes them out of the moment and distracts them, which doesn't really make them do better. It distracts them too much. It's like, let the coach do their thing. You know, you just be the observer, maybe talk to them about it afterwards, but in the moment, like, just let them be, like, they're learning, you know? And I think some parents are just too over-concerned with performance. And I get it. Like, our kids are an extension of ourselves, or really we feel like they're an extension of ourselves and they reflect upon us in some way by their actions. But to be honest, they're individuals. They're their own people. And we have to let them learn. And if you're putting them in a sport of some sort, let the coaches do their thing. Like, seriously, let the coaches do their thing. The final theme is to stay rooted. Oftentimes we learn all these, maybe there's things that we've already known. We know, to be honest. We already know all the things that we're supposed to do. We tend not to do them, right? So week 6, staying rooted is all about doing the damn thing. Just doing it. Choosing an anchor, a rhythm, a habit, or a mindset to carry forward and do. So we've learned about creating space, being clear, having more ease in our lives, but now how do we stay grounded? How do we continue on feeling nourished and making it sustainable where we can continue on? Because I think a lot of times, like I said in the past, when we go big and try to do big things, it doesn't become sustainable and then we quit and we don't do it. Like me working out, trying to work out 40 minutes 2 times a week. That was not sustainable for me. But doing small little pockets of workouts here and there is sustainable for me. And how can you take what we've learned through Anchor In and carry it forward so that you have more ease in your life, you have more joy, you have more space. So yeah, I hoped you enjoyed this little overview of what Anchor In is all about. And I hope you join us there as well. Again, like I said, I'm going to leave the link down below. All you need to do is download the Telegram app and join the Anchor In channel, and you're in. You're there. It's like there's nothing else you need to do. Just pop in your earbuds, whatever, and listen to me wherever you are. If you're in a room full of your kids and you're feeling overstimulated and you just need a bit of calm, pop me in your earbuds. And we've already started. This is coming out on Tuesday. This started yesterday on Monday, which is today that I'm filming this, but it started. You still have time to join in because this is the pre-work week. And next week on August 4th is our official start date. And yeah, I'm just popping into your earbuds like 5 times a week and just giving you cozy little encouragement and reminders and giving you some journal prompts and one actionable item to do. And I hope you join us. I'll leave a link down below. And for those of you that are listening to this on iTunes, is that what it is? On iTunes, on Apple Podcast or Spotify, make sure you leave a review. That means so much to me, and it just really helps spread the word about Cozy Notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this episode. You know, what else do you want me to talk about? Because most of my episodes are based on conversations I have with my clients or DMs that I get from, people on Instagram. So yeah, let me know. What do you want to talk about here? What do you want to talk about on Cozy Notes? So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.